right, next up, we have the next billion-dollar ideas are already here. It's a panel being hosted by Ricky Mulvey, host of the Motley Fool Money podcast. If you'll please welcome to the stage our speakers.
Hello. Welcome to The Late Show. We got, starting closest to me, is Maria Shen of Electric Capital, Ray Shang of 7X Ventures, and James Woe of the Digital Finance Group. And we've got about 20 minutes to find your favorite investing ideas in crypto. So want to make sure you're getting what you came for. And this is a space, I came here with some skepticism, curiosity. I'm less familiar with it. And honestly, I'm not that invested in crypto. So I'm excited to hear what ideas you're most excited about. And maybe we'll start with Maria.
Yeah, sure. So the premise of the panel is that the billion-dollar idea is already here. I think that's very true. I mean, ever since the first Bitcoin white paper, a lot of the ideas around payments, a lot of the ideas around the benefits of decentralization have also, or the Ethereum white paper, a lot of these ideas have already been described. I think I spend a lot of time thinking about where are we in the adoption curve, such that it's the right time, like which are the right ideas that can gain traction and be expressed today. This is a working theory, but I think really the money use case is probably still where a lot of the things that face mainstream consumers can get built. So stuff around stablecoin payments, stuff around being able to generate yield from stablecoins and making these UIs a lot simpler for mainstream users is probably where we're going to see the most adoption based on where we are today. That being said, I think the really exciting ideas that I would love to see, but who knows if we're a little bit too early for, would be stuff around fan engagement with creators, being able to split revenue on consumer-facing platforms. So think about how maybe YouTube can have a decentralized version where early video creators can garner money, where live streams can have live markets with tokens during the stream. I think these things are super cool and super interesting. Just probably a question of when is the market ready to adopt some of these things.
Go next to Ray.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And I feel like for me, it's mainly two directions. One is compliance, and the other one is crypto native. So for the first one, obviously, with Donald Trump on the stage and SEC new president, there's going to be clear regulation framework coming up. And I feel like in the future economy, with the AI and IoT-driven, millions of microtransaction per minute, and I'm expecting more adaptive economy in the future. And as Maria said, I think stablecoin can act like a data API. And I feel like this year, not only payment, but also a lot of stablecoin-related business will take off, such as on-ramping in those emerging markets, and also custody for the funds and off-ramping and all-in-one API, such as cross-currency, cross-crime, cross-chains, and also some RWAs on top of the stablecoin reserve. This is one direction I'm mostly bullish on. The other part is this year has been extremely volatile, the crypto market. And for me, it came from a TikTok background. I was a product manager at TikTok, and basically we were using the AI ability to improve the conversion rate of the platform. So this year, I'm witnessing one trend that's edge inferencing. Especially we're witnessing DeepSeek, they're introducing more efficient model, and also we have Apple, they have M3 chips and also ML library. I'm expecting in the future if the agent era will come and every one of us, we do edge inferencing on our phone. And by that time, I think that we will compete with cloud computing and inferencing in that way. I think this is one company and multiple directions I'm mostly bullish on. So how can crypto and decentralization really combining with the idea and power of AI? Yeah.
All right, I got some follow-ups, but I want to go to James.
Great. So I feel like a billion-dollar idea is not that impressive because you can basically launch a share coin on first day and have multi-billion-dollar FDV. So it happens these days and in the past as well. So I think which makes things very difficult in this space is, your project survive for one more cycle, basically 4 years, then it's still popular, in the next cycle. This is absolutely very, very important and very difficult to achieve. So basically, you launch your protocols with multi-billion FDV, but 4 years later, the project is still, either above, the price you do TGE, or like go even the next level. That's super, super impressive. I feel based on the previous track record, I think DeFi is very solid. If you just look at the data, so we have DeFi summer back to 2020, and at the peak of the market in 2021, we have around $180 billion TVL in total. But right now, it seems like I know the market is not, that kind of good beyond Bitcoin. So right now, we have somewhere around like $110 billion TVL. DeFi is still very solid, and a lot of blue chip DeFi protocols, they haven't been hacked in the past 4 or 5 years. This is also impressive, and it's in very important use cases. This is the one thing I trust a lot. If you want to have some new ideas or new kind of innovations which can potentially last for more than one cycle, I think basically there are two things are big enough and could be sustainable in the crypto market. The first is AI, the second is RWA. So we do invest into a great AI project, and we are start to look at good project in the RWA sector because the sector are big enough. I think it's also the long-term narrative instead of some a short-term kind of hype.
All right, we got the AI stuff, and we got stablecoin, we got DeFi. The stablecoin thing, okay, so you lend out stablecoins. Here's my question. So if you're a retail investor, you can go get high-yield corporate interest bonds for about 6-7% a year. That seems pretty good, and you get the full. You got corporations that produce cash flow behind that, and some regulations there. What's the advantage what's the pitch for stablecoin lending, that kind of thing then?
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on where you are in the world. I think access to USD is quite limited outside the United States in certain regions of the world, and so that's already a benefit. Just being able to hold stable coins as a hedge against local inflation, I think it's fairly compelling. I spent a lot of time working on something called the Developer Report, which looks at the number of open source developers working on crypto around the world. And one recent interesting change in trends is the uptick of open source developers coming out of Nigeria, for example. And speaking to developers there, a lot of them within the younger people already in tech circles, they're working with crypto and they're working with stable coins precisely as a local currency hedge. So I think that's really interesting. And then the ability to then save these stable coins into yield-bearing vehicles that, it depends on where you are on the risk curve, but in a lot of instances, you can get quite a bit higher than 6 or 7% on stable coins, depending on your risk appetite. But at the very least, imagine if you didn't have access to USD, you can all of a sudden get access to USD. You can put it into a safe vehicle that's backed by US treasuries on chain and at least get the treasury yield. So I think that at minimum is already a great benefit.
Okay, so the two explanations I'm hearing. One is if you're in an emerging market and you can't quite access the markets that I'm talking about, you go to you have these stable coins that you're able to use. And then the second one is if you want to go further out in the risk curve and lend outside of what I just described, the large corporations to upstarts trying to do cool stuff in crypto, then you can do that with the stablecoin lending you described. Let's go to Ray.
Yeah.
On the AI agent stuff. So the AI agents, I know them on Twitter. You know them on X. They talk to you sometimes. They're not people. What cool stuff are you seeing from the AI agents?
So right now, I feel like most of the AI agents, they're just like merely like automatically create Twitter KOLs. But what are we most excited about is actually this ability. Imagine like agent in real world that they cannot access to a bank account or anything. But in crypto, like AI agent, they can own a smart contract wallet or something. They can manage their own private keys. And also you have this, like as I said, stablecoin as a, you know, like the currency API just flow like a data on the internet. And also you have this like ability to, you know, whenever we do like multi-agent authentication, this is a huge problem because whenever you delegate your agent to like multiple apps, you need to log in and how you communicate. And I feel like there's a lot of company dealing with it, and also reasoning within the whole process of like conduct the risk and also risk assessment. I feel like this is what real crypto agent is like heading to, not only about like, you know, shit posting and do the promoting.
Then we'll go to James. 3-5 years from now, what's happening in DeFi that you're excited about or you're optimistic about?
I think every circle we see very good DeFi innovations, right? So I think during the DeFi summer in 2021, we see Uniswap, we see MakerDAO, we see Aave, and during this cycle, we see ETHDenver, we see Hyperliquid. There's a bunch of like new things came out. I think we are good at DEX and lending right now. I think that's pretty, you know, solid, safe, good liquidity, so easy to use. I think we can make more improvement on other sectors, maybe more like option tradings, as well as insurance. You know, there's some sort of like financial tools which you use in your daily life haven't been covered by on-chain DeFi protocol yet. So I think that's the part we should discover more in the future.
All right, and then we're going to go down the line, starting with Maria. So this is the Uber driver question. This is an Uber driver tells you, should I buy Bitcoin? And honestly, I've looked at this space a little bit. I'm not as into it as probably this entire room. But I wonder, you know, if I'm investing, you know, if you're putting a few $100 a month into stocks, and I'll put crypto in there as well, shouldn't you just buy Bitcoin and not worry about the rest of it?
For a lot of people, I definitely think so. I think it's a great idea to just buy a little bit of Bitcoin at a time. And, you know, again, it depends on where you are in the risk curve, how much, and the corollary to that is how comfortable are you with losses. I do think investing in Bitcoin is certainly a very safe way of being able to participate in the crypto market. If there's more risk appetite, then you can branch out into other tokens. I think another big part of investing is really trying to understand where you have a lot of conviction, where do you believe something that perhaps no one else does. And ideally, it's because you have differentiated data that tells you, hey, this is the right thing to believe in. And if you feel that you have this differentiated data and this conviction, then that's where it makes sense to invest outside of Bitcoin as well. But I do think for the normal person, buying whatever is your risk tolerance bit of Bitcoin every single day, every week, whatever, every month, is certainly a great approach.
Ray, I'll go to you with the same question. The Uber driver is asking you, I'm interested in crypto. What's your investment advice to them?
Depends on who they are. Like, can I ask you more questions? Like, how much you know about crypto?
I know, they know of Bitcoin, they know of Ethereum. Maybe they're investing, let's say, $300 a month.
Okay, let's just stay in Bitcoin.
Just stay in Bitcoin. Don't worry about the rest of it.
Because if you really think about it as the concept of money and value, so a lot of people feel like, okay, I have $100 and I just like store in my bank account. I'd be good, right? But actually counting this inflation rate, your value got diluted through time. The whole concept of Bitcoin is like we have this like immutable money that we can hedging against any inflation, but like we can have a fixed schedule. So for anyone that don't, like I told this to my roommate, literally, she worked in the investment banking and she was like, I was trying to onboard her to like Ethereum, Solana. And by the end of it, I was like, you know what, you can just stay with Bitcoin because that's probably the most value attracting, and also you don't need to worry about you got scammed or too volatile.
Okay, so James, I can ask you the same question, but if you have a similar, for the average person, stay in Bitcoin. Or someone is knowledgeable about the space, they want to get super risky, and you want a flyer. Give them a flyer. What's something they should look at?
Someone want to become super risky. Oh, okay. I saw people always want to super big return without taking the risks. So I don't suggest they become super risky because you may lose your entire net worth. I don't think that's a good idea from a professional investment perspective.
Nah, this driver, I'm sticking with the Uber driver thing. I don't know if y'all like it. It's $100, whatever. Their life isn't going to change based off of it. Or you can we can do the Bitcoin stuff. We can stay with. If that is your answer, I don't want you to force you into a different answer.
Yeah, I did actually being asked by the Uber driver twice during this conference. I think I gave them the answer is first, Bitcoin is a very good investment for you even at this stage, right? So just imagine if you invest into stock and Bitcoin may have more further upside in the stocks, right? So it actually gave you much potentials for higher returns than other traditional assets. So this is actually very good. The second, I gave the suggestion to the driver is, you have to be kind of confident about losing some of the money because the volatility could be high. Even Bitcoin have more than $1 trillion market cap still. You can see these days Bitcoin goes down a lot. So price goes down a lot. So you need to be prepared for the volatility. So you don't need to put your entire net worth into Bitcoin right now. I don't think that's worth a try. I think it's more like a part of your asset. You're doing what you are doing for other investment, pull them out and invest in Bitcoin. That's probably a good idea. The third part is be very cautious about using, your custodian platform, right? So if you do this in FTX back to 2020, 2021, that's not a good idea, even if you own enough Bitcoin, right? They replay after the bankruptcy, they do replay your money, but on a Bitcoin perspective, you actually lose a lot of the money, right? So, be really cautious about your custodian platform, trust only reliable platform, or do you just buy Bitcoin ETF? I saw, they may charge some annual fees on you, but it's probably more safe for you.
All right, we're going to land this plane on time. Maria, Ray, James, appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insight. And thank you all for hanging out and watching this.